Hello there, my name is Annelise Lyseng, and I'm a registered psychologist practicing in wellness and psychological services at MacEwan University in Edmonton, Alberta. And today I'm presenting the preliminary findings from a research project conducted by the Post-Secondary Counselors chapter of the Canadian Counselling and Psychotherapy Association. Our project is The Listener's Voices, an exploration of the experiences of Canadian post-secondary counselors. And on our research team, we have Sheldon Hill, Jean-Ann Robertson, Helena Dial, who's also a psychologist at MacEwan University, and Jen Davies. And this project was approved by the MacEwan University Research Ethics Board in April 2021. Okay, so just as a brief background, research has really identified that post-secondary counselors are frequently overwhelmed. And to our knowledge, this is the first project that's targeted specifically towards Canadian post-secondary counselors across provinces. Our goal here was to understand the current state of counseling services in Canadian post-secondary institutions and capture perspectives from frontline counseling professionals at English and French institutions. Our anticipated outcomes were to identify challenges and opportunities in counseling service delivery, as described by these professionals, and to look at the relationships between workload, institutional support, and counselor well-being. So we first created a database of publicly funded post-secondary institutions with counseling services. And you can see on the charts here what that looked like in terms of breakdown between English and French institutions. We did find that most institutions had their own counseling center, but there were minorities that had a wellness app in lieu of counseling, no services available, or used an externally contracted counseling service. We also had a mixed methods survey, and data collection occurred over 4 weeks in June of 2021. The survey looked at non-identifying information about the counselor's institution, demographic information about each counselor, information about their work environment and practices, and their perceptions of their experiences, including strengths, challenges, opportunities, and best practices. We included a self-care assessment and a couple of standardized measures as well: the professional quality of life, compassion, satisfaction, and fatigue scale, and the self-compassion scale short form. So we're just going to look at some of those results that are from the first 2 weeks of data collection. So we had coast-to-coast representation. We had 54 respondents, although it should be noted that not every respondent answered each question, so that's why the numbers may not always add up to 54. 17% of respondents worked in centers that maintained a waitlist, and there were generally 5 to 150 students on this waitlist, and students waited between 10 and 60 days for an appointment. Almost half of respondents worked in centers with a session limit, and just over half reported that it was difficult or extremely difficult to connect students with community resources. 88% of respondents indicated that they believe that the complexity of student mental health needs are increasing over time, which are really reflected in some of these qualitative comments here. And just under a quarter of respondents indicated that they felt poorly prepared as a result of their graduate training to meet the needs of Indigenous learners. And just over half indicated that they experience unique challenges specific to working with Indigenous students. Clearly, this is an area where counselors would benefit from additional training and support to provide culturally sensitive services, and we're fortunate that the PAA has been curating resources for psychologists in Alberta. It would be great to see this offered in other provinces as well, particularly for a post-secondary audience. Now, in terms of job satisfaction and perceptions of support, there were some interesting findings here. The average job satisfaction rating was 7.5. 33% of respondents disagreed that institutional policies prioritize student mental health, but 70% indicated agreement with the statement that their institution recognized the importance of the counselor role in supporting student mental health and wellness. When asked to indicate how effectively their service was meeting the needs of mental health needs of students at their institution, on a scale from poorly to very well, the average effectiveness rating was just under half, so 2.39. And despite the challenges encountered in their work, the vast majority of respondents indicated that they believed that they could make a difference and that they were happy that they chose to do this work. These numbers are inspiring, as the people who are working to care for student mental health needs appear to be passionate about what they do, even in the face of increased complexity and rising demands for service. It will be interesting with more data to see the overall patterns and relationships between compassion fatigue, workload, and perceptions of support. If you have any questions or would like a copy of the data, please connect with me. You can also check out our full poster using the QR code. Thank you so much. Have a good day.